Evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Pardon any lag, I just had to go live for a test stream and to check the audio. It was fine 5 minutes ago. I just need to, I'm getting my YouTube chat room pulled up and also the Twitch chat room. Pardon any lag. Don't be messed up. Lag, I just had to go live for. Maybe that's how my voice always sounds. Okay, maybe it's so far. I'll be checking the audio as we go. I watched my last show back. It stuck with me. I wish that show was longer. Full screen, damn it. But, well, it was 2 hours for me, but of course I lost about the first 20 or so minutes because of technical difficulties, because of Logitech. Twitch, here we go. Yeah, even if you don't have any content on Twitch, once you sign up for an account and you have a handle there, you have a chat room that never closes. Pop-up chat. Great. That's for some folks watch the show, but they don't have YouTube accounts, but they still want to chat, so that's why I make sure to have Twitch open, though I don't think I can ever go live on Twitch because there's animations in the chat room. I also can't use it to watch other shows because of that. Other shows are bigger than mine, so they get donations, and I can't look at those animations. So, what's up to Patrick? And One to Go To, and Dandy. Glad you made it. Patrick says hi, everyone. I hope you're well. Yeah, doing pretty good. One to Go To says greeting, chatlings. Lovely to see you. Yeah, good to see you too. It's great to see everybody. Oh wow, One to Go To says I'm wearing shorts and sweeping up leaves. Do you live in Florida? My God, or California or something? Uh, I've got a little fan on. When it's on one, it sounds like it's off, and when it's on two, it sounds like a hurricane's blowing in. So that's off. Okay. Yeah, it's great to see everybody. I will be checking the audio as I go, just because it's the last day of Mercury retrograde. So theoretically, the next show would not have any audio issues, in theory. Dandy Snow here. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. No, I think it got up to like 1 or 2 today. I didn't catch if it said if there was snow. I did not look outside. It's not a looking outside day when I go live. Yeah, the last show, I don't know what it was. It's you can't move around that much with this camera. You can't have your voice go high and low like mine does because it won't pick it up. Want to go to North Los Angeles County. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Oh. That's wait, north. So, oh my God, you guys could get snow. That one other channel I watch, the guy's in somewhere in California, and he'll come on, and he's wearing like a full on, like a sweatshirt, and so we're like, oh man, it must be so cold, and he's like, oh man, it's freezing. It's 55. It's like, yeah, well, 55 in California, you could freeze to death. Oh my God. They're just not used to it. I get it, but it's like that's cold for it. It's 75 in here. That's too cold for me, so I get it. But they're just not used to it. I love the story from it was years ago now, but in Atlanta, Georgia, got half an inch of snow, a quarter of an inch of snow, and people legitimately like stopped their cars on the highway, got out, and walked. You can slip and fall, stay in your car. turn the heat on. Just pretend that you're in alive and start eating each other. You got out and walked. Like, I'd rather freeze to death in the car than end up frozen in the snow. I was gonna make a joke, but I know that guy's cursed. I don't want to bring that up. Oh yeah, how was your Thanksgiving? I'm gonna wait for everybody to file in a bit before I get on with the review. I did, like I was saying, lots of folks went live. It seemed on like Thanksgiving the night before, and then I mentioned Mahler was going to upload a video that was 17 hours long, and it said it took him 18 months. I saw he went live earlier. I guess that's what it is. It's Star Wars Outlaws. I have no idea what that. It's. I assume it's one of the newer TV shows everybody talks trash about. So I'm sure it's awful, but I don't know nothing about it, so I don't need to click on it. But more power to him. He puts in the work on those long videos that he makes. I was long before. I think this was before Disney bought Star Wars or around that time. I wasn't paying attention to that, but I always wanted a standalone Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. They did the solo one. I saw that. It's okay if you don't think it has anything to do with Star Wars, then you can choke it down. It's just a fun space movie. It's like a 6 out of 10. That doesn't sound very good, but it's not bad. Um, So I'm like, I want a standalone Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. You can have Ewan McGregor play him. It would be fine. And at the time, I had a buddy at work that was like heavy into the comic book movies. Like, dude studied, like, wrote them all down in order, like here, like he just knew it off the top of his head. I'm like, oh my god, thank you. So I just would ask him about it and just kind of like teasingly, and then it came out that there was going to be an Obi-Wan TV show, and then I didn't get it. I wouldn't pay for Disney Plus, but I just heard it was not that. They focus all the shows on women, and that's not what people are there for. Like, I love the character Loki. It's so hard to get good villains nowadays. Love the character Loki, Tom Hiddleston. But then I heard the show. It's just all about, like, he's got this lady sidekick, and it's just more focused on her, and dude's just standing there in costume. So maybe it's better than that, but like, I would still watch it. Again, I'm not gonna pay Disney for it, but eh, I know I know what I'm in for. So I would like to be surprised and have it be very good, but I think it would just be okay. What to go to? I was 73. Oh, how can it be 73 there and 0 here? I wish. It's like 73 in the room, and that's not. Well, I'm 93 pounds now, so that's everything. I'm always cold. Oh my God. Not on purpose or anything. I'm just broke. Yeah, but 73 outside is nice. That's oh, in Celsius, let's say that would be about like 22. That's not so bad. About 23, 24 Celsius is perfect. That's when you get to about 75 Fahrenheit. A little bit cold for me, but that's when you're getting into more. That's as cold as it should ever get. There's no reason for it to snow. We have refrigerators and freezers. Ice cream exists. That makes no sense to me. We've evolved past the need for snow. I mean, keep it up on the mountains. If people want to climb mountains and freeze to death up there, that's on them. There's no Wi-Fi up there. Why are you going up there? But yeah, the rest of us don't need it. It's the difference between, okay, the summertime, you get dressed, you get in your car, you go somewhere. In the wintertime, you have to get extra dressed, and you probably can't even walk out to your car. You probably have to shovel first or throw down salt. And then you get to the car, and then you got to scrape it off and brush it off while it's heating up, burning up gas. And then after about a half an hour, you can finally get on your fucking way. So I just. And what if you don't even get that far? What if you just go outside and slip? It's rain, but it's frozen. Now you've got issues. Dumb. Do not need it. And it does not need to be getting up above 90 degrees anywhere. We have microwaves, we have refrigerators, fire exists. Just calm down. Don't need these extremes in temperature. We already get tornadoes and hurricanes and floods and volcanoes. We don't need the extra. The temperature doesn't need to get in on it too. But like when the older kids are acting up and the younger kids have to act up too, it's like that. We don't need that. Dandy, oh, we had 5 inches here in Cleveland, went to Norwalk, 60 miles away, and there was nothing. Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit warmer in Norwalk, like compared to up here. Oh no, like I'll feel it. It's a couple of degrees difference, and then I'll check the weather on my phone. I notice that it's a little bit less windy because you're not by the lake. Well, it's Norwalk too, and everyone drives. No one, swear hand to heaven, no one drives the speed limit in Norwalk. It says 25, they're doing 21. It says 35, they're doing 21. And then they got to slow down for a stop that's 2 lights away. It makes no sense. It like old, young, every single last person there. I drive through that town with my music up, pissed off because I know it's going to take a while. So I guess everybody like Stupid Ho by Nicki Minaj and Music Box by Eminem because I sure am turning it all the way up with the windows all the way down. Like, oh, we're listening to my songs since you're wasting my time. And I only would ever go to like Walmart. It's basically on the edge of town. I'm not driving all through it and just this. It's built like it's like this too. Dandy, yeah. Oh my God, LOL. True, he knows. I don't know if it's always been like that, but it has been for me. You're going downhill, it's 25. You're going uphill, it's 35. You're going downhill. You get it, and it's not even that really hilly of a place, but it's enough that it has that. Look at the speed limit. What is this Toontown shit? Except it's not funny. So yeah. Patrick, ooh, pissed down with rain here all day. Gotta love that. Like, what's that sound? What's that dripping? Oh, it's rain. That's why it's so cloudy. Yeah. I don't know. So it's so how is rain so nice in the summertime, and then it gets to wintertime, and it's like ah shit. Not this again. Well, why can't rain just always be warm? I think that's what it is. If they could find a way to make it warm rain even in the wintertime, that would get rid of snow. That would get rid of so many problems. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Thanksgiving was pretty good. I just nodded out right afterwards. And then I had a dream about using guns in Minecraft, and I had talked about that in my last show. Which is weird. I've never been able to, like, I can't program myself to dream about whatever, but I think that was funny. Like I'm just pow, 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 killing mobs, and I'm like, wait, maybe I should use an axe or a sword. This is, like, too OP to just be drive-buying sheep and whatnot. Gotta keep that thing on you even in Dreamland. Yikes, I don't need to kill things that badly. Yeah, I sort of missed something the last review I did because this would be, DVD only. You see the chalkboard with the air date, the video recording, the VTR date, and then it'll like a DRK hyphen and the episode, whatever their little numbering system for the episodes are. You don't see that after episode 209, so that's why I'm not mentioning it. Just DVD only. It doesn't affect anything else really. But what happened was usually the episode, like they're filmed and about a week later they air. Sometimes it's just a few days before, but usually around a week. But what happened was episode 102 and 103 were both filmed on November 4th, 1966. So they were busy that day. It takes a whole day usually to film an episode with the dress rehearsals and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know if they were rushing to get things done before Thanksgiving, but they had a busy day that day. Maybe somebody was sick and they had to make up for it, so we're doing it all in one day. But That's how that went. It doesn't affect the continuity for the viewers at home. You wouldn't know that. I was like, wait, yeah. Busy filming day. Okay, we are moving along to. Yeah, now we are on Dark Shadows, episode 105. Aired on November 18, 1966. With that new chalkboard, they got the hashtag, but instead of it being up and down, it's like sideways. Or I guess that's just no. That's before they called it a hashtag, but modern terminology. Oh, let me check the recap. I think I remember what it says. Let me look it up. Um, that's audio. Is that okay? I'll do what episode, then I'll check. But yeah, for the recap, Mrs. Johnson is sure Collinwood is haunted. Called up Burke, told him that, but she's gonna say because that's what Mr. Malloy would want. And Victoria found out that Roger lost that pen that he took from Carolyn up at Lookout Point. And then Roger found out that she knew. Next thing you know, she's almost run down by a car. And Liz knows how to party. My girl is all about a pill. Same. All day long. It's been years. So we are in, again, episode 105. It's still day 16. Well, actually, it's night now. And we are at the police station. Burke is in there. He's usually not in a good mood when he's in the police station. And he wants Bill Malloy's case reopened. And as he's telling the sheriff this, he's got this file open that he's just kind of glancing through while Burke's saying this. I want the case reopened. Sheriff says, I can't do that. I can't reopen a case that's never been closed. And he closes the file. You can see the front of it. It says Bill Malloy on it. That puts a big old smile on Burke's face. And the sheriff is going on to say that it's a small town, so they give the people the conviction that they want that keeps the peace. And then he quietly continues to investigate. And you would never, like, Burke did not think too much of the sheriff, but now he's kind of seeing him in a new light. Like, you had me fooled. Burke seems to think he has everybody figured out. So he's very pleasantly surprised that he was wrong about the sheriff. He thought he was against him. Now he feels like he's on his side. But he's saying that Victoria told him she knows something. And someone tried to kill her tonight. The sheriff is like saying, and you think it's Roger Collins. And Burke's like, well, what? Someone unlocked her door, her bedroom door up in the house. Like, who do you think could have done that? But now we jump over to Collinwood. We're in the foyer. And it's Liz. There's a bench that's back behind the wall. There's the door to the kitchen. Actually, it'd be like over there. But there's a bench back there about 2 blocks wide, I would say. I'll build it in Minecraft eventually. So there's wood paneling on the wall. It's about as wide as 2 of those. And she's just sitting there. She's sewing an apron. Haven't seen her hand sew anything yet. And she's talking to Roger. She's telling him, well, yeah, Victoria was almost killed. Like, I know you haven't heard. Roger's like, oh, I was just out for a drive. And then he's like, well, I wonder where Sam was at that time. I didn't think about Sam, but now that he's bringing it up. So back at the police department, the sheriff is saying that Roger Collins would never try to hurt Victoria. So Burke's like, I've got an idea. Just play along with me. That Burke wants the sheriff to play along with the evidence that he's going to get Roger to produce. Like, if you go along with me, we're going to get Roger to trip up. Let's just go with it. Just trust me. So back in Collinwood in the living room, Roger's got a drink. And he's just saying it's odd that Sam would give Victoria a picture of some girl who looks like her. And Liz is like, well, Sam didn't try to get into her bedroom last night. So there's a knock at the door. We see the clock. It's 10:30 p.m. Over in the foyer, open up the door. The sheriff's there. They're usually happy to see him. And then Burke walks up. Oh, and he's here too. It's like, yeah, come on in. Can't be rude. Brings him into the living room. Liz is saying, Burke wants to know where Victoria is. Liz says, well, she's lying down because she gave her a downer earlier. Probably just said gave her something. I'm sure she didn't call it a downer. Saying, yeah, someone tried to run her down with their car earlier tonight. And then Burke says, well, and someone tried to break into her room last night. And there's Roger. Oh, she dreamed it. You can't really trust Victoria. She believes in ghosts and she hears and sees things. Just trying to make her sound unreliable. And then just out of the blue, Burke's just like, and what about that pen she found? He gave it to Burke gave that pen to Carolyn. Roger took it. He drove to that meeting. It got lost somewhere. And then Victoria found it where Bill Malloy was killed. So Roger's like, well, Bill could have found it there. So Burke says, do you deny finding Bill Malloy dead? There's Roger. Is that what Victoria told you? So Liz says Burke can't prove anything. And there's Roger, like, sauce? Like, where's the pen? So Burke reaches into his coat, pulls out the pen. It's like, is this it? Roger looks at it. He's like, no. So Burke says, well, we'll just ask Carolyn and Victoria. Said, this is the only pen like this in America. So now where we see the exterior doors of Collinwood, sheriff leaves. Well, the sheriff and Burke, take off. They're done. So in the living room, there's Roger, and he's looking out the window, watching the cops drive off. It's as if you look out that window and you can see down a ways. And Liz is trying to talk to him. He can't talk. He's got to go do something right now. He's just got to go. So the next thing, we see him up at Widow's Hill. and he's moving this rock out of the way, and he's digging in the dirt, reaching around for it. The actor can't find it at first; it kind of gets knocked to the side, but he does find it, and he picks it up, and then the camera pulls back, and there's the sheriff and Burke. Dumbass. Great. It's so funny. It's not played for comedy, but it's so funny. I had to watch it back twice. I'm like, how do they get there that fast? No, literally, like Roger has it. He stands up. The camera pulls back. We see the other two just standing there. And we see Widow's Hill for the credits. Let me check my audio. Can you be cool for 2 hours? Oh, I gotta click on the actual video, don't I? Okay. Oh, it says I'm live right now. Am I? Up, down, up, over, down. Here we go. Maybe. Be cool for 2 hours. Oh, wow. So far, so good. Okay, wow. Let me get through one episode. Nifty. Like that. I can get used to that. Right. Oh, whoops. Yeah, we're in another recap. Oh, gotta update the description. Oops. Yeah, right now this is it's the disc 10 through 12 is what I'll be recapping. I didn't write down the episode numbers. How far back does this go? Uh, I think it's in the last notebook somewhere. That's okay. This is just every 3 discs. I was going through it. Oh, Patrick, thank you. Yeah, you sound great here. No props. Thank you. Lisa Gray, what's up? You're live in Technicolor. I know. As much as I wanted to do the reviews of Dark Shadows that are black and white episodes in black and white, people don't have the patience for that. But I did think about it because I know how to. It's is it saturation? You just turn it all the way down, and that just means you're in black and white. It makes me look whiter too, but it that's fine. Um, I was blowing through these so fast when I watched them every 3 discs. I had to stop and just collect my thoughts, or I'd be even more confused about what was going on. Even though I was taking notes for everything, they weren't as fleshed out as these are. That's why I've had to go back through and rewatch. So just know it might not be every 27 episodes, but it is every 3 discs. So if the timing for that doesn't match up later on, that's why. They had some characters in episode in the early 200s, so suddenly one of the discs has a bunch of bonus material and maybe 4 actual episodes on it when they usually have about 9. So yeah, discs 1 through or discs 10 through 12, at least up to episode 105. Where we're really it's 100 episodes in, so we're settling into grooves. We're really getting used to these characters or their motivations, how they're going to react to stuff. So we're really, after 100 episodes, you should be getting familiar with characters. Elisa Gray said, good enough tapping it lightly. Hope all is well over there for you. Yeah, doing good. Okay, just take it easy with those aches and everything, and just drink extra water, and just kind of be still while it heals. Oh, I know how to, just like the icy hot thing, like I was saying, to get rid of bruises. Lie on the heating pad. It's kind of helps get the kinks out. Yeah, so far it's kind of just the same thing. Maggie, she goes to work and she worries about her dad. That's her whole life. She's interested in Joe Haskell, but it's mostly working and worrying. And Sam likes the ladies. He's just always a little bit like it's never overbearing like Frank Garner, but Sam is just any other. He's not a creep with his daughter, but any other girls, he's just slightly flirty with. It's cute to see. I can't really put my finger on it, but when you see it, very good actor too. And Joe is he's just a straight up dude. He just wants to make an honest living, do the right thing, be a stand up citizen. No hassles, no confusions. Just wants a straight and even path through life. And to hell with David Collins. He's a murderer. That I mentioned that, and the episode when it came up, I don't do the animal abuse thing, so whatever sympathy I was building up for that kid, that completely washed it away. Still an interesting character, don't get me wrong. Like, damn, this child is evil, but uh, and it's not cool to like neglect and abuse your child, but he's still a friggin' murderer. So that's I'm gonna have to start keeping track of people's body counts, not who they're sleeping with, who they're killing. So if you want to start counting, there's one for him. Yeah, I see exactly why Roger hates him. After that, I'd be standoffish with my child. I would have sent him away personally. Like, you'd be in boarding school for the rest of your life, and I'd never see you again, but that's just me. Lost my spot already. And there's Roger's shady ass. He's only trying to cover his tracks. That's the only thing he cares about. Everything else is secondary. His son, his sister, his niece, everything. Dandy, when does Barnabas come in? LOL. Technically, episode one, or pardon me, 211. Like, we see that there's actually a famous shot. You can see his hand on another character's neck. We see that in 210. But I want to say he might show up at the very end of that episode, and then at the very beginning of 211, that's where he's at Collinwood, and kind of spoilery, that's where he's introducing himself, and dude stands there in such a way. The man's a stage actor. He knows his angles. My dude strikes such a pose. Like dude's got the cheekbones and everything. That man knows. Like, there's a reason why that show was dying, and then it went on for 4 more years. Like, he's that while Barnabas is not like my favorite character, he certainly is up there. And you cannot touch Jonathan Frid. That man can do the damn thing. Oh my god, check out pictures of him when he was younger too. Bro, damn. Lisa Gray said it was always so exciting when he would appear. I like when Barnabas does come on because it's almost like we're getting two separate shows. We're getting like Collinwood stuff, and then we're getting this whole other darker stuff going on at the old house, and like the way it mixes together, and like one doesn't know about the other, and it's so. For a show that's a half an hour long, like 22 minutes, to feel like you're getting two shows in one, and it doesn't feel like it's rushed or smushed together, or like we're missing out. Like it blends together so well. Like the writers know their stuff. Like never, like I can forgive a West Wing, East Wing, mixing up coffee cups. That's fine. I don't care if we can see like the crew and the camera and the shot. It's not about them. But yeah, right around in the two, maybe in the late 100s, but definitely in the early 200s. That's when my favorite character comes on, and then and then he gets, then the casting change, and then we get episode 210. That's what everybody else has seen. A lot of people have not seen the beginning, but we do have to cover it because it makes throwaway lines later LMFAO jokes. Like, damn, if that character knew who he was really talking about. Then he said, yeah, he's about the only one I remember. And then we get Jonathan Frid on, and like him, another guy and another girl. They're like, I think a lot of people's favorite trio. Definitely mine. They work together. And Liz does think that Roger, he's a little bit sus. She had that thought that he might have killed Bill. I think she knows what he's like, but she just won't tell him about himself straight up, and he would never admit it. So there's kind of like this elephant in the room. Like she knows what kind of person Roger is. She's just too much of a lady to say it. Well, I'll tell him about himself. He's about to get socked in the jaw. And then Liz knocks herself out with downers. Yes! I know that's right. Don't know what they had for downers back then, but my girl knows her way around a pill. And there's Carolyn. She cannot admit that she wants Burke Devlin, who wants Victoria. Just like this, it's not even a love triangle because there's nothing gay going on there. But I'm not chasing after Burke. Did he say I was? I'm not. And then that's all she's done. And nobody wanted that offer Burke made on to work for him instead of the Collins at the cannery. They shot him down. Like, nope. We know you're desperate. We're not taking it. Victoria's been locked up, almost killed, what, 2 or 3 times. I'm going to start to lose count. But she's staying. She's staying. She feels like she belongs there. I'm glad Mrs. Johnson's on the show. I really am. If I said that last time, I don't care. I'm still glad she's on the show. Great addition. Not in every episode. Love to see her. And Matthew Morgan, he just wants to work and have everyone else fuck off. He doesn't want strangers there. He just wants to do his work for Liz and eat his dinner and be left alone. I get it. Like, he's an older guy, too. He doesn't want any ruckus. And the roads around Collinwood are shit when it rains. Everything floods out. I don't know if it's still like that, but get on that. And now they've figured out what hairstyles look good on the ladies. In the first early episodes, it was still together, but not quite. It's not the hairstyles we're used to. They kind of stick to the same group of hairstyles that they have. Whether, like, Carolyn's hair is up sometimes it's down, sometimes it's that flip thing. They've got the hair situation worked out. It's really not going to change too much. At one point, they kind of don't do much with Victoria's hair. It gets a little bit weird. I'll mention it, like, what's up with this, but I think something was going on behind the scenes. And so we've gone from the Kill Bill storyline to the Penn storyline. The Penn is mightier. And there's so much coffee that they don't drink tea anymore. Everybody's just up so late and getting up so early. Everybody's on the coffee now. I don't think they might mention tea other times, but any other time, if somebody's got a coffee cup, it's coffee. I didn't mention it, but we are seeing fewer of the donuts are becoming a little bit less of a character. That's sad. I like to see them. So now we are on to, I think it's a brand new case too. It's a third case. We're on disc 13. This is episode 106. This aired November 21st, 1966. A brand new day. We're on day 17. This is great. In the intro, Victoria's saying, "When I came to Collinwood months ago." This is like I was saying, it's the unreliable narrator thing. If a character is talking about like times, places, events, it's just from their perspective. They're not checking a calendar first. They're not, oh, I wrote this down in my diary. No, it's just whatever they remember it as. So while it's only been 17 days in universe, you got to remember the show began at the end of June. Now it's almost Thanksgiving. So for the people watching, it has been months. So like that line would make sense to the audience, but to the character, Like, what's your perception of time like if it's only been 17 days and it feels like months? Personally, time feels double as long for me, so what the hell is your. I think that is just for the audience. We don't really. Since they haven't been giving dates yet, it's not like we are supposed to care about what day it is in universe. I do. I'm into astrology. And we do get a date eventually. I'm not just doing this and then we're going to get to the last episode and I'll be like, I don't know what day it is, but later on we do get dates. So it is morning. We're at the police station. And Richard Garner is there. He's, Roger's lawyer. Because Roger is being held, remember they just found him up at Widow's Hill with that pen, so they got a reason. So he's, locked up somewhere. We don't see him anywhere. And the sheriff is asking about that pen. He's trying to ask Victoria. She's sitting across from the desk, and Richard Garner keeps interrupting, and the sheriff has to keep telling him, like, you to shut up so I can do my job, or there's the door. And he has to keep reminding him, like, dude, like, friggin' lawyers, they gotta keep talking. But Victoria says that Roger said that he found Bill Malloy dead. And then she says that someone tried to get into her room and they tried to run her down. She walked home around 8 p.m. It's about a 30-minute walk from Collinsport to Collinwood. And she met Sam Evans at the Blue Whale. He asked questions about Bill Malloy's death. She doesn't know why. Then Richard's like, you didn't see who tried to get into your room or who drove that car. So you can't prove it's Roger Collins. Victoria's like, well, then who? It's a fountain pen. It's a silver filigree fountain pen. It's got like it's super thick. It's bumpy. Like to my mind, it would be like super heavy to write with. It wouldn't be fun. I would not write with a pen that heavy. But it's like they show the tip of it. You can tell it's a fountain pen. When Victoria first had it, she mentioned she had to put ink in it. So this is I'm sure it's a very pricey pen. I just, yeah. I've got my Sharpie pens, but it's not that fancy. This is just a crystal Bic pen. It's you take the cap off when you write with it, and there's no. I don't like the extra. It needs to be as light as possible when I'm handwriting stuff like story writing. So that's why this is the best. And it does look silver, even though everything's in black and white. But later on in the police, this is one of the, I believe this is the episode, almost the entire episode takes place in one room. It's like a play. But later on, Richard's saying that Frank Garner is driving up to Collinsport. Oh, this is when it happened. Now Carolyn shows up. She is so upset that's her Uncle Roger. He's locked up. She is so upset. Her hair is not completely done. Like right now she's doing like the flip where the ends flip up at the end. It's like that on the shoulders, but in the back it looks like they had curled it up, but they didn't leave it up curled long enough. And it's just fallen down straight. And like she's got, even ends. She's got nice hair. But we've never seen her hair not completely done up before. It's like they must have done it on purpose because you get your hair done at the start of the day. It's got to last the whole day. I'm sure they did that on purpose just to show how frazzled the character is. It's like Carolyn was doing her hair and just said fuck it and took it off and ran out. But yeah, this is one of the only times you've seen a character kind of half-ass their hair. So that she's that upset. And the whole time, like, she's pissed off. It's like she's on the verge of tears. I understand why she's mad. She comes in there. It's like, well, they told me to come down here, and my Uncle Roger's locked up. And it's like, yeah, we just got to ask you some questions about this. And she's, my pen. Sheriff's like, yeah, Victoria found it at Lookout Point. So Carolyn says, did Victoria say that my Uncle Roger killed Bill Malloy? The sheriff says, well, someone tried to kill Victoria last night. And Carol, like, you don't think Roger would try to kill Vicky? She is hella upset. This girl is almost screaming, almost crying. She's jangly and everything. We haven't seen her upset like maybe the closest one was when she found Bill Malloy's body, but she is really having a bad morning. So she says to Victoria, tell them you don't think Roger would try to hurt you. And it's commercial. She doesn't say that. Later on, they bring Roger in. He is pissed. You can tell they told the actor not to shave. He's blonde, so it's really hard to tell, but he does have a really light stubble. Roger's always usually clean shaven. Has not had a chance to shave today. Dude I'd be pissed off too. You're locking me up over a pen. I didn't kill Bill Malloy. I'd be even more pissed off. And they take him in there, and he's like, I'm gonna sue you for false arrest. And he's I just buried that pen to stop people being suspicious of me. And that meeting we just met to I was just talking to Bill about how he was running the cannery. Well, I was, but I had found him dead, and I lied because I wanted to stay out of it. I didn't want to get Elizabeth involved with another trial. The sheriff's like, well, that's a crime. You don't just hide evidence. Then he's like, do you have keys for everything at Collinwood? Roger's like, I see where you're going with this. Victoria imagined it. Then the sheriff asks, where were you at 8 p.m.? And Roger, I was out for a drive. I got gas. I got gas at a gas station at Clearwater. I haven't looked at a map. I don't know if that's a real town or how close that is to a fictional town, but that's what he says. Yeah, this is the episode. Now, this is the only time we're not in the police station. We go to the Collinwood. We're in the living room. Got the I'm stressed out. The window's open. That's open. And Victoria's standing there, and Carolyn comes up. I said, you can't believe my Uncle Roger's doing these things. I've known him my whole life. Really? Let's think about that because Carolyn's 18 and Roger has been away from Collinwood. Like when he got married after that trial 10 years ago, like he never brought his wife, Laura, into Collinwood. They immediately moved to, like, I think they went right away to Augusta. Like, he never brought his wife there. They moved out of town. They went elsewhere. So, okay, let's go back 10 years. She would have been 8. Well, let's just say she knew him for the first 8 years of her life, just assuming he would, always been around. It seems like he was. And then he's gone for 10 years, and now he's back. So it's more like half of your life, but I don't know if she didn't have a calculator out when she said that. And I'm sure there were like phone calls and letters and stuff like that in that 10 years he was away, but he does not seem that it's not like he was leaving his wife and son to come to Collinwood to visit her. So I doubt he would have done that. Could have afforded to, but he doesn't seem that type. Like maybe a postcard or a Christmas card or a happy birthday card, but he's doesn't seem like the type to keep in touch. So anyway, we're back in the police department. There is a calendar on the wall. I haven't mentioned, but you will see if you want to look hard enough. There are calendars up on the wall, and while they are kind of blurry, they're not so blurry that you can't see like where the start of the month is and count the day. It is a little bit hard to read the month. I don't know if somebody wants to like sit there and pause the screen and try to like needle in like, okay, this is the calendar for like to see if it's the same one, or if they just hung up something when the show started and they're just going to leave it there for 5 years. I don't know, but that stuff is there. If you want to needle in on the details, it's there for you to investigate. Maybe other people have. I don't know, but it can be done. That information can be found. Anyway, the sheriff says the sheriff wants to know why Roger was even just out at the beach at all that night. Just why were you out there? If Bill found evidence about that accident 10 years ago, you'd want him dead. So Roger looks over at Richard like, seriously? Like, these are the questions I'm getting from this guy. It's like, someone tried to kill Victoria Winters, and it's not me. And of course, we see the police department for the credits. Kind of feel like I don't need to do this, but Mercury retrograde. Let's check the audio. You know, I didn't think about this. While it is a fountain pen, I wasn't looking at the ink. Is it blue ink or is it black ink? Can we tell because it's black and white? I don't know. I personally hate to write in dark blue ink. Kind of feel like I don't need to do this, but oh, I didn't. Cool. I don't like really pink or light blue, but I can still write with it. But something about a dark blue pen, it'll be my own signature, and it feels like it's counterfeit. So odd. I understand the need for the color dark blue. I just don't like to write in that color. Oh, God. That's just so weird. All right, yeah. Now we're on episode 107. This aired November 22nd, 1966. We're still on that 17th day. In the intro, Victoria's saying there's been a second attempt on her life. And she calls Frank Garner her friend, or a friend. Is it the second attempt because she's not counting when David locked her up in that room? Like, she could have been in there forever and starved to death and died. So I guess she's giving that one a pass. Okay. Well, we'll take her word for it. So it's day at the police department. There's Frank rushing right in. And he's just worried about Victoria. His apparently, Richard, he's talking to his dad. He told him prior to this that somebody tried to run down Victoria. And it couldn't be Roger because he's got an alibi. And then he says that Sam Evans is being brought in for questions. And that's when Sam walks in. Like, who are they? Why am I here? Oh no, corduroy. Well, this is corduroy. It's not as bad as when Roger wears it. It is like a regular suit jacket. It's made out of corduroy, but it's not quite as like bumpy as Roger's. If that, it's less texture to it. So if you try to ignore it a bit, you can just imagine it's something else rather than Roger's. Like you're seeing the texture and everything. Damn it, Sam. So that's just what he's wearing. But he, just doesn't want to be there. He just being straight up about his answers, just saying that he met up with Victoria at the Blue Whale, and then he drove to the beach for a few hours alone, just on purpose. That's why he went out there, to be alone. He just wanted to look at the water and the quiet and just be by himself. He's like, yeah, why would I kill Victoria Winters? I like her. She visits sometimes. I gave her a picture once. So Frank hears that, and he's got to go. He steps out, and that's all Sam had to say about it. So he takes off about a minute later. So he does, and the sheriff picks up the phone. Yeah, Chris, put a tail on Sam Evans. Lisa, more corduroy. Yeah, I can't. I must have blocked that out, or I would have remembered and been like, oh no, him too. But yeah, there's. Okay. At least it's in black and white, because it seems like all this corduroy is some color brown, which just makes it worse. So it's easier to choke down in gray. You see it in color, and you can't fix it. You're just stuck with it, because that's the real color, and just. Like, please lose that coat. Like, go shopping, tear it, so you have to replace it. Just. I, I, who decided that was okay? So over in Collinwood in the foyer, the clock says 6:15. It's p.m. The lights are off. There's nothing on. So Victoria, walks in, just turning the lights on. Everything has a dimmer switch. And she's a little bit jumpy, and she just kind of, like when she's frazzled, she's just a little bit extra fidgety. We notice it. And she just kind of, it seems like she doesn't know what to do with herself. So she sits down and picks up one of these. It's a fashion magazine, so it's bigger than a notepad. Glossy page. You can tell it's some real magazine. We don't see the cover, but like she's flipping pages. It's probably one of Carolyn's magazines, like Girls Pose and all this kind of thing. Maybe it's Vogue. I don't know. Was Vogue that thin back then? But she's jumpy. There's a knock at the door, and it kind of wasn't expecting that. But she lets him in. They go into the living room. Actually, she can I take your coat? And it sets it on that table in the foyer. Just not the side table, just the one with the statue on it and the phone. That's basically like that to us. No hooking at Collinwood. And if you do know, it's not your fault. It was just recorded bad. The audio is rather choppy in this episode. There's parts where you're just not going to hear some of the dialogue. It just sometimes that happens with the recording. Like it's not in the next episode. It's just in a few parts. It gets choppy. It's okay. You still know what's going on. Lisa Gray, oh, Look magazine. I remember that one. Yeah, it could be. It's thinner, but like magazines are like kind of like taller and a little bit wider, like girly type fashion magazines. And you can see like the super shiny paper. That's why I think it's a real magazine versus just something they printed for the show. Which that's fine. You just cover up the logo. You can get away with stuff like that. Frank's asking just who else would try to kill you besides Roger? Victoria says, basically she says, oh well, David can't drive yet. Like, yeah, if he was 16, she'd suspect him, but. Oh, John Rogers, what's up? Glad you made it. Smash that like button right meow. It's battery yet. Doing good. Hey, what's up, man? So, Frank is saying that Sam Evans said that he was out driving last night. And Victoria tells him, well, Sam had questions about Bill Malloy's death. And Burke says that Roger is responsible for the accident 10 years ago. Sam knew and said nothing, but Burke can't prove that. So Frank says, if Sam thought you knew the truth, he'd have tried to kill you. And it said Sam Evans could have tried to get into her bedroom. And then Frank thinks he's a detective, or I mean, I guess a lawyer would kind of have to think like a detective, but you would think this guy was going to cop school the way he's putting things together. It's while we know what he's putting together is not right, I can see how he's making these connections, so I'll forgive him for thinking this way, even though he's a little bit stubborn about it. But he says that if Roger and Sam were pals 10 years ago, they still could be. And maybe they're both trying to kill her. Well, I hadn't thought of that, but I can see how he would think that. Why are they don't say what kind of lawyers they are, but why would your lawyer that handles all of your money and your property stuff know about defense? Maybe they made lawyers know everything back then. I don't know. And then later on, Frank invites Victoria to dinner. Let's all come and pick you back up in an hour. And she's cool. She's down for that. So over in the foyer, Liz, she's wearing her double pearl necklace. She's got the pearl earrings. It's long sleeves. Um, I can't remember what she's wearing, and then what I wrote down doesn't quite make sense. It's the front near the neck. It's like a cape. I can't think of what color it was. She always looks so glam. It's just with this extra. You put extra fabric on her, and it doesn't make it look baggy. It just looks classy. But she cannot find David anywhere. So Victoria just always probably at the old house, his favorite place. So she offers to go take a look. So now we're over in the cottage. We can see, okay, that's not right. We can see a little bit more. Usually we see there's the front door, and then there's a side door on the brick wall, and then you've got cabinets. I thought they were from the just moved from Collinwood, but seeing later it's not. And then we can see more of the wall. We usually don't see that part of the wall. We can see that there's a sink. It's got the towel rack with the few different things that come out, and you hang the towels on, and the wood stove, the cabinets. You can't see anything inside the cabinets. There's a round table you can sit at, a brick wall, wood paneling, like the up and down wood paneling. They don't have that in Minecraft. That makes it harder to build. Uh, then there's a little smaller table with a lamp on it. That's over by the door. And then right like in front of the camera, there's a rectangle like dresser, and that's got a bowl of fruit on it with a phone. That's where that is. That's right in front of us when the camera moves over there. But Liz phones and Matthew picks up, and she's saying to go check down by the cliffs for David. And Matthew's like, well, if you're looking for David, he's probably at the old house. And Liz is like, I know, I sent Victoria to go look for him at the old house. You go look down by the cliffs at night. Go. She doesn't quite say it like that, but no, I want you to go to do the dangerous thing. Go do that. Okay, I will. Oh, Dave, Matthew goes to go out. There's this there's the front door to come in. There's a brick wall, and there's that other door. But on that brick wall, there's this wooden thing. I don't know how to describe it, but you can hang coats on it, maybe two or three, and then like there's a bottom part that kind of comes out more that you could maybe like lean a umbrella against. I don't even know what to call this thing, but the point is there's a coat hanging there, and Matthew takes it off with a hook. We don't see coats hung up at Collinwood. That's why I make a big deal out of this. Takes his coat off the hook, and there's a chair by the door. It's got a wicker basket with the paper bag inside. I love the details. The set decoration. There's always something to look at. If you wanted to say draw that or build it in Minecraft in black and white, there you go. So he's outside looking for gonna go to the when they say the cliffs, I just assume they mean Widow's Hill, even though there are other cliffs we don't I would say we don't see, but we don't see them yet. So we're back in the police department, and the sheriff is saying that, well, as soon as Roger's alibi checks out, he's free to go. He's saying this to Frank Grimes, not Frank Grimes, goodness. I knew I was going to mess that up. Frank Garner. And, Sam is no longer there, obviously, and there's Frank like, you let Sam Evans go? Sheriff's like, we're watching him. And there's Frankie's going to, well, Sam could have withheld information 10 years ago about that accident, and Victoria found out. There's Richard Garner. Dead issue. Drop it. So there's Frank Garner. Get Sam Evans in here, or Victoria's life's still in danger. And then he leaves. And Richard Garner's pretty much done right in there, so he takes off too. Want to go to a hall tree for hats, umbrellas, and jacket? It's like that. It doesn't really have like slots to put anything in. I would say maybe you could put your shoes on it, but what if they're muddy or something? Or maybe if you got groceries or something, you can just set it there. It's very like low to the ground. It's not like waist height. It's kind of down there a bit. Just some wooden thing. I would have to sit there and stare at it if I was going to try to build it, because I don't really know what it is. Why do they have furniture like that? Like that chair that's in Carolyn's room. It's like that low. It's almost like a sofa, but it's missing one side of it. But it's not a sofa because it has a back you can lean on. And maybe it has armrests. What is this weird ass? Like it's not an armoire. I see why they don't make those anymore. It's how does an adult stand up from that? Carolyn can't be. Carolyn's actress is like what, maybe 5'2", so okay, it's fine for her. But Uncle Roger sits on it. I don't know how tall that guy is, but he's the tallest guy in the house, so that can't be. I hope his knees are okay. Anyway, So later on, there's Sam back in there twice in the same day, and he's pissed off about it. I would be too. Like, why'd you call me down here twice in one day? I just saw your ass. Like, what do you have to ask me now that you couldn't ask me before? I'd have been going off too. Bruh. What couldn't wait? And the sheriff just asking him questions, asking him how he was driving around, and Sam's like, "You know, I don't have a car." It's like, "Well, yeah. So, well, how often do you use Maggie's car?" And right there, I had to stop. I'm like, "That's so bad. Like this man, he's got to wait." Yeah, well, let me say this first. He does use Maggie's car sometimes, but he says he prefers to walk. And he's like, "We can check my driver's license. It's valid." A chaise lounge. Maybe that's what it is. Let me look that up. A Brave search engine. CHAZE lounge. Uh, Images. That's what it is. That's got to be what it is. Yeah. Just with like maybe I think it did have armrests on it. That's what it is. Not these curvy ones. It's just the flat. Thank you. I'm clearly not an interior decorator. That's what nobody tells you. Nobody will tell you this, but I'll tell you this. When you start playing Minecraft, suddenly you have to become an interior designer. And then you start watching videos on how to make stuff look like real things at a house. But yeah, nobody will tell you that. It's just a fun building game. And suddenly you have to think about where. I've never done decorated a house before, but suddenly I have to know that stuff. That's what it is. Yeah, just in I forget what color it is when we see it in color. I'm sure it's like a light or an off white. That's it. Wow, and some of these are so ugly. Wow. Thank you so much. Wow, I learned something today. I'm learning about furniture. Step away from flipping houses. No. Thanks again for that. That's nice. That's what it is. This low, chilled out. I'm not a chair. I'm not a sofa. I just kind of hang out in the bedroom, you know. But yeah, I thought that's so sad that there's Sam. He's not driven. Maybe he can't afford to keep a car because he's too busy boozing it up. But if Maggie's can hold the job down and has a car, good for her. But get your shit together, Sam. I get maybe he doesn't have maybe his income is not as steady as hers. So I did. Maybe I'm judging, but still, good for him for walking. That's good exercise. He's a stocky dude, but he stays in shape. So more power to him. You gotta walk off that liquor, I guess. Fainting couch, yeah, Lisa, yeah. Because it's low enough. If you fell off of it, you're only maybe a foot off the floor. You're not gonna get hurt too bad. So it's. I say that, and I'm sure I'd land in such a way with my bony ass. Be like, oh, that's a bruise. It just hurts to breathe. I'll be fine. Fainting couch. Let's try. But the sheriff's pointing this out. Okay, well, you had Maggie's car last night. You have no witnesses. I don't like coincidences. Maybe Victoria knew something about that manslaughter case 10 years ago. And there's Sammy. You're grasping at straws. I've got no reason to harm Victoria Winters. Lisa Gray, yeah, we always called our living room couch the Davenport. I've heard that before. I don't know like exactly how a Davenport differs from a couch. Have been saying sofa because that's what they use on the show. I'm more likely to say couch, but it's they don't have couches on Dark Shadows. They have sofas. Maybe that was just not a they didn't use the word couch back then the way we do now. The Davenport. That sounds like somewhat like hoity-toity, like snobbier than Roger Collins that just happens to be in your house. That's our random rich boy that just sits on the Davenport. So we named him Davenport. Danny said, I faint all the time. I need one of those. LOL. I get so lightheaded now. I can't bend down and do nothing without getting lightheaded. So that's why I'm like, let's try it out. I'll tie my shoe and then pass out for about 30 seconds. Not really. I'll just need to not be standing up. That's fun. One to go to. Seems like there should also be a sideboard in one of the main rooms. Maybe that's what it is. I forget if we saw it then and I just forgot to write it down. But when Liz was sewing that apron, she puts it away and the entire shoot. Was it the entire seat or like the half of that seat opens up so it's like a chest with a back to it. It's wooden so it's not going to feel good to sit on for a while. Sideboard. See, now there is that little entranceway in Collinwood where we haven't really seen anything shot in there quite yet. It is coming up. That's where they could have that stuff. That's where you could theoretically hang up a coat. But now we're at the old house. It's the exterior. And it's nighttime. There's Matthew. I haven't paid that too much attention to it, but I'm pretty sure they're just using the same footage of Matthew holding the lantern, going up the stairs slowly. Lisa Gray might have been from Mother's Vernacular, European Anglo-Indian. It could have been, yeah. It's just like how we have like in the Europe and the United States and Australia with just different words for like we say AC, they call it aircon. It's the same thing. That's why I learned what busking is. I'm like, busking? They're just playing music on the street. I didn't realize there was a term for that. Like, oh, we don't call it that. Or Adidas is Adidas everywhere else. That's actually the more correct way to say it, but we don't say it that way over here. Went to go to head rush. Yeah, the blood's not used to that. Whoa. So we saw Matthew go up the stairs. Then we see Victoria walking up, and she's just, kind of like you're kind of just looking up at this house as you're walking up to it. So she's not really rushing, just kind of casually strolling. But then we see up on the roof, we've never seen a shot like that up there before, that there's someone up there, and there's something on the edge, something big. Like concrete, it must be because it goes falling off the edge. Whoever's up there pushes it, they run away. It lands, like here's Victoria's foot. It lands, it was not a foot away from her foot. Like if that would have hit her foot, girl, you're going to the doctor. You're being on crutches for a minute. If it would have hit her head, that would have been the end of the show. This could have almost killed her. It breaks. It does look like concrete, like one of those like planters or something like that. And the person running away, yeah, I couldn't really see who it was at first when they go to push it, but they run away and they're so short. Like we know Matthew didn't get up there that fast. He's a big guy, but he's not moving that quick. So it couldn't have been him. I'm like that was David. But he's the one that ran off. And then we see the living room for the credits. Right after Victoria told Frank that David would never try to kill her. Like just like literally 5 minutes ago. So yeah, that's scary as hell. When something happens and you could have almost died, it's like, well, this is certainly painted the day in a different color. It's like that. Oh my god. So now we are on episode 108. This aired on November 23rd, 1966. We're still on that 17th day. It's nighttime. Victoria mentions a weekend away from Collinwood. But before she mentioned taking a weekend away and it was just a day. Maybe she got everything done in one day. Again, I don't know. Was Bangor boring back then? I don't know. I would hope not. But yeah, this is we see something reused really for the first time. It's that night at the old house. We see Matthew holding that lantern, walking up the stairs. It's the same footage we just saw at the last episode. So they're definitely reusing it. They're allowed to. But we're inside the cottage. Victoria runs in. She's frantic. Anybody would be. There's an oval rug on the floor. We couldn't see that before. If you look at the floors, like everything is basically concrete, but they just strategically will put carpeting and rugs in places so we don't think it's a studio. They do a very good job of it. You wouldn't think it is. Yeah, we can see the right side of the screen a lot better. There's a picture on the wall. It's so weird. It doesn't. It's like the wall. It's almost at an angle instead of being everything at 90-degree angles. Like I understand you can do that for a TV set, but you can't build it that way in Minecraft. So I gotta do something about that wall. But that's my problem. Want to go to Adidas acronym all day I dream about sex, a phrase popularized by the Corn song. Yeah, I didn't know that like Adidas was started by a guy named like Addy was his either his name or his nickname. So Adidas is the more proper, correct way to say it. I'd never heard it said that way until I was a few years ago. So I'm like, we say it Adidas here. I guess it's wrong, but you can throw people off and say it the European way. What? That's what it was because there's a beam. There's that door that's between like there's the entrance door. There's that dressing thing where the thing was hooked up, and there's another door. But there's a beam that goes all the way across, and that connects to the wall, and that seems to be made out of the same kind of wood. It's not like that on the side with the brick. Oh, I got it switched up. I've got to fix that wall and the way I built it. That's okay. It's black and white too, so I'm guessing it's the same kind of wood. It looks like it's a darker wood than the wall is. But Victoria's just run in, like she's frazzled, she's out of breath. About a minute later, Matthew walks in. Says, "Oh God, Matthew, I'm so glad to see you. Somebody tried to kill me. I'm gonna call the police." Goes to the phone. And dude puts his hand. He like goes to pick it up. He just puts his hand on top of her to stop her, and she just looks at him like, "Dude, you're stopping me?" I think I have heard that song "All Day I Dream About Sex." Somebody told me about that at my job, and I think I was 16 or 17 at the time. Like, oh, I'm a child. You shouldn't be telling. No. Now we all talk like the South Park kids when we were kids. But Victoria's saying that, like, look, she's got to call the cops. Somebody pushed, she calls it a stone urn, was pushed off the roof and asks have you seen Roger? He was at the police department earlier. Matthew's like, well, what did the sheriff want? It's like, you think Roger pushed that urn? And she's like, I don't have time to talk about it. I just need to call the cops. And again, like to hand on just on top of her. It's like, you're not picking this phone up. Like, no. He doesn't want the sheriff bothering Liz with questions. He tells her to stop making trouble. So Victoria's like, well, I just, whatever. I'll use the phone at Collinwood, whatever. I was going back there anyway. This place was just closer. So she goes to leave. And Matthew grabs her by the arms. So over in Collinwood in the foyer, there's a clock chime, 6:30 p.m. And David comes moseying in like he wasn't just gone, just friggin' missing. Wait, how is it 6:30 p.m.? Wasn't it just 8 p.m.? Or no, I was thinking of the other night. My bad. Wait, where did we see? We saw the clock. No, that's right, because it was 6:15 p.m. and now it's 6:30 p.m. Okay. A lot can happen on the show. One episode took exactly 1 minute in universe, so that kind of, they get a lot done in a short amount of time. But there's David moseying in, just telling Liz, oh, I was just out playing at the cliffs. And Liz tells him, well, she worries about him when he's just gone for hours on end. And tells him that Victoria went to the old house to look for you. Dave just, he doesn't care who's after him. But they're at the cottage there. Matthew's about Victoria. He's not going to let her leave until she answers his questions. He just has her sit down. He said, David said, you think Bill was killed, and you know who did it, and you told Maggie. And Victoria says, well, she found a pen that Roger dropped at Lookout Point. Matthew says, and then you ran to the sheriff. Victoria says, well, the sheriff and Burke found Roger digging up that pen. And Matthew said, they were up here? And Victoria's like, yeah, Matthew says he doesn't really often know what happens up at the at the main house. People just have to tell him or Liz calls him. So that's news to him. Victoria says, someone's tried to kill me twice. I wrote down 4 times actually, because we had David locking her up. We had the urn just now. We had the car. And I'm forgetting the 4th one, but I wrote down 4. It's 4. Just because I don't know it now doesn't mean I didn't. I wrote it down because I was sure about it, and I knew I wouldn't remember it. So it's if I said it was 4, it's 4. Nikki knows what she's talking about. Awesome. So over in the foyer, there's David talking about I think a ghost got Miss Winters. Go wash up for dinner. She's getting sick of all this ghost. Like, every single time he brings up ghosts, it's like she's 1% more fed up with hearing about it, and just go. Either go eat dinner or go to your room. Just go. So over in the living room, that's what it is. Because Liz opens up the window. It's as if you can see down because Collinwood's up on a hill. It's like you can see down a ways. Maybe you can see the road that takes people up and down from Collinwood from there. But the way they kind of just look down, you get that impression. But over in the foyer, there's a knock at the door. Liz opens it, and there's Frank, and he's there for his date with Victoria. It must have been an hour. So Liz says nope, she's not back yet. She went out to look for David, but it doesn't take 5 minutes to walk down to the old house and back. But let's go check. So she goes to that kitchen door. She just opens the door and reaches behind it, grabs a coat. Maybe there's hooks back there. I didn't put that together at the time. Wow. Or maybe there's just a stagehand handing it to her, but let's assume there's a hook back there. Cool. This is what it is. That seat that she was sitting on earlier sewing, that seat opens up, so it's almost like it's a chest, and you can put stuff in. It's so deep, and but then it closes. You can sit on it, and there's a back to it. I didn't know it opens up like that wall over there, so that's okay. That's a thing. You can hide a person in there. It's very deep. It's very wide. Uh, David could hide in there. He likes hiding and stuff. And it's Frank Garner is standing in such a way that when Liz opens it up, well, like he's in the foreground, so I couldn't really tell if the whole thing opens up or just half of it. Oh, I'd have to watch it again, but it's if I were to have to build it, I don't think it could build it with something that would open up. It would just be a seat, but keep that in mind. But then it's later on, like they even come back, and Frank is just saying it was weird to just see that busted urn just on the ground like that. Is that always there? What's up with that? I was like, I don't know. But she gets on the phone, calls Matthew, and we're over at the cottage. He picks up. No, I haven't found David or seen Miss Winters. Yeah, just so he hangs up. Then he tells Victoria that Liz asked about Carolyn and denies that he lied to Liz. Like that, oh, I haven't seen her. Like he meant, or she meant, have I seen Carolyn? So he just lied to her. No, I didn't lie to Liz. Dude, yes, you did. That's twice now. Oh, this is when you see at that table with the phone on it. It's actually a dresser with 4 drawers. Yeah, I gotta put that there. So Victoria's like, well, Liz sent Carolyn to Collinsport to be with a friend tonight. But, oh, okay. I believe you. Sure, you didn't lie to Liz. Yeah. And there's Matthew. It's like, you need to stop making trouble for the Collins family. No one tried to kill you. You imagined it. Then Matthew says, why were you out walking at 8 p.m.? Victoria says, I never said what time I was out there when that car almost ran her down last night. Matthew's like, oh, well, Miss Stoddard must have mentioned it. Victoria says, you said you haven't spoken with Liz today. Because remember, he just said, I don't know what happens up at the or up at the big house. And he didn't know the sheriff and Burke were up there. So he's not a very good liar. But there's a Matthew who's like, oh, well, Miss Stoddard mentioned an accident at 8 p.m., and I didn't know what she was talking about. And then he, like, suddenly that just turns into, he's like, you think I killed Bill Malloy? And you're gonna tell you're gonna tell the cops, so I can't let you go now. I don't know how he got onto that, but he got onto that subject, so that's what he thinks. So over in Collinwood, they're in the foyer, and they've already called the cops. They call the cops after 20 minutes. So it's been 40 to 45 minutes top. So, like when Frank Garner first showed up, oh, Victoria's not there. They go to the old house and check, she's not there. Then they come back. Like, it has not even been a full hour yet, and they're already phoning the police. And there's Frank saying that Victoria left an hour ago. And Liz says, well, she went to find David, but she's not back yet. And she does, have that. That's why he's back there, that they've got that date tonight. The cops do show up, and they just they tell them what's happened. Oh, okay, well, we'll find her. They're gonna search the grounds. She's gone for 20 minutes. They call the cops. Cops get up there. My God, I would say wait an hour, but like with the way they have her life's been almost taken from her, I can see why they would jump the gun and call a little bit sooner. So, oh, all right. Better safe than sorry. So now we're back in the cottage, and Matthew is he's just pacing back and forth. He doesn't seem like he thinks very quickly, so he's just trying to think. He's like, I can't let you leave. You're going to phone the cops as soon as you get out of here and get back up to Collinwood. Victoria's like, well, you didn't have a reason to kill Bill, so I believe you. And he's still not trying to let her leave yet, so she's just, I don't feel good. I feel sick. Can I have a glass of water? Matthew's like, oh, I got something. He's got some liquor over here. I forget what kind he said, but he goes to turn to grab it. She heads for the door. Dude takes like 2 steps and he grabs her again. He's like, I had to kill Bill. Victoria's like, well, you have to let me go. Bill's like, no, I have to kill you. And yeah, we see the cottage for the credits. From that window by the door all the way to the stove. It's a really good angle, good shot we got there of it. Okay, here we go. Rapid Fire, episode 109 aired. It didn't. There is no episode 109. I don't know why. There just is not. So episode 110 aired. There isn't one. I don't know why, because we see the chalkboard and you can clearly see that they wrote like the big 0 for the 110 and then erased it and wrote 111. I don't know why they skipped 2 episodes here, but this is why if you watch Dark Shadows on the Internet Archive, they're not going to tell you what episodes were not produced. So once you get to, episode 109, there isn't one. That's episode 111, and then you continue from there. I'm sure they don't indicate that. That's when you're going to need the Dark Shadows wiki to have the correct episode numbers, otherwise things won't make sense. It's not like there's 2 episodes missing. It's not like we're like jumping in and we're like ahead 2 episodes. It's just the numbering system. I don't know if somebody was being a smartass, like nobody's gonna notice, but that's what they did. So you can't say I'm not covering every single episode. So the real next episode is episode 111. This aired on November 28, 1966. We are still on day 17. Well, nighttime. We're in the cottage. And there's Matthew there telling Victoria that I killed Bill, my mistake, and you're going to tell the sheriff. And Victoria's like, well, I'm not going to tell. I promise I won't. Matthew says, well, I'd believe that if you were dead. And Victoria's straight. I thought this too when she said it. She's like, I never suspected you. Me neither. He's the last person I was thinking of when all this was going down. And Matthew's saying how he's never killed anyone before, and Bill was gonna cause trouble, so he grabbed him, and then he slipped. And Victoria is just she's trying to keep this guy calm. She's scared, but she's really trying to hold it together. And she's like, well, right now, you're only guilty of one accidental death. But if you kill me, they'll give you life. She's being very practical, trying to reason with this guy. And she's scared as hell, so she's doing a really good job. So in the living room, there's Liz saying, oh, Victoria could be lost for hours if she's in the woods. Like I was saying, it's this big, huge-ass property. And Frank's like, well, are there any other ways to get, up and down from this place? And Liz mentions that there's one practically impassable back road from Collinwood. So maybe they don't clear off the brush or whatever. I probably noticed it earlier, but I did write it down. Frank Garner low-key resembles Benedict Cumberbatch. I don't know if they're the same sign. I don't know this actor's birthday. But like, if you know, it's something around the cheekbone area. Not necessarily, just very slight. Like they could be distant cousins. So if you're into Benedict Cumberbatch, there you go. I'm not sure how old that guy was or if he was even alive back then. But yeah, so if that's what you're into, it's still a blonde guy. Like that's who he looks like. I'm glad I wrote it down because I would not have. It would have taken me forever to remember that. But we're in the foyer. The sheriff is gonna call for more backup to search the woods. And then over in the living room, Frank is sure that Victoria is in trouble. He's just got a feeling. Seems like Liz too. And so the sheriff's asking, well, what other properties are there around? Liz says that there's 3 houses. There's Collinwood, the old house, and the cottage. There are also greenhouses, barns, stalls, sheds, plural. I hope they have at least 2 sheds. And but it's a waste of time to check the buildings. Like, okay. You just know she's not in any of them. And this might be where she mentioned, she's like, well, I called down to the cottage, and Matthew said he hadn't seen her, so there's no point in even going over there. But now we're back in the cottage, and Victoria says that she's like, no one will believe I left Collinwood without my things. And then Matthew's like, yeah, I was the one that tried to get into your room. She's like, why? It's like, just to scare you. Victoria said, and you tried to run me down. Matthew's like, I did. I tried to scare you into leaving. And then he says that he's the one who dropped that urn at her. So he's just, he really does come off like somebody who wants to be, like these people that confess to crimes they didn't commit just because they want to get locked up for some reason. That's the vibes I'm getting from him. He's just admitting to doing everything to look as guilty as possible. I did it, that was me. And then if you're like me, you start to get the sense like he would do anything to protect the Collins family, even take the blame for everything Roger's done. That's what he's doing. And like as pathetic as that is, we're really more scared for Victoria because here's this big dude that won't let her leave. And then he says I wouldn't kill anything unless I was forced. And he's just trying to reason with him. He says, shut up so I can think. So we come back later on. Matthew's done some thinking. He's like, yeah, they won't find your body in a cove about 2 miles up the coast there. Like he's really thinking this out. We really do get a really good shot of the sink with the dishes. I just point that out because we hardly ever see that wall, let alone anything that's on it. Usually the camera's there. So I just can't believe we're seeing so, like, it's almost like they've got this tiny little corner of the room that they're filming from. We can see so much of it. We don't get that later on. And Victoria, she's really getting upset now, and Matthew tells her to stop crying. She says, I can't. Asshole, you're talking about killing me? Of course I'm crying. But the Collinwood, we're at the front door. And apparently there's, Liz is saying, like, well, there's caves underneath the cliffs. Like, we know Widow's Hill is up on a cliff, so we just assume there's, like, beach and water underneath. So that's what I think of. Liz is saying this to Frank. They're just outside there, and Liz is telling him that, well, the only person that knows this property like the back of their hand is Matthew Morgan. But she says it's odd that he hasn't phoned because when she usually calls him and tells him to do something, he does it and then calls her right back to say when the thing is done. But okay, he went to search for David, but he didn't call her right away. She had to call him just then. So that makes her suspicious. So she goes to call him again. We go to the cottage and the phone rings. Victoria tries to go for it, and Matthew stops her. And I think he just lets it ring off the hook, but he says, like, I'm going to tell Liz that I couldn't find you. So in the living room, Frank is saying that it's a few minutes past 8 p.m. He just says that. And they're both worried. You can tell. Like, Liz is always worried about something. There's Frank, he's worried too. So is this what like he wants to, like, he's kind of pacing. He wants to get up and just do something to find her. And Liz is used to waiting and not being able to do anything, so she's just sitting there very quietly. Liz's earrings are gold, actually. I probably just couldn't see him that well. We didn't get him that close. It's just some, like, like those little kind of C shape that they kind of go out a little bit. It's like a Frito shaped. It's like that, but gold. Those kind of earrings. So Frank says that Victoria must have information about Bill's death. Liz does not know anyone who would want Bill dead. And one of the last things Bill said was that he was gonna have to make trouble for the Collins family. And she thought it was possible that Bill found out something about Roger's manslaughter case. And there's Frank. He's like, well, that would give Roger motive. So Liz says that Roger didn't kill Bill, and he hasn't been threatening Victoria. And Roger can't have Victoria right now because he's at the police department. Frank's like, yeah, with Sam Evans. Frito earrings, hilarious. Yeah, that's the only shape I like. They are C shaped, so they kind of like bulge out away, like they're tiny like that, but like a Frito. Don't eat it. They had Fritos back then. Frank Slaney, yeah, he thought that Sam was, suspicious for a minute there. Then he asked Liz, like, would anyone kill for you? Jump back to the cottage. Matthew grabs that chair by the door. Like there was like a seat to like a proper seat to sit in with some. It's got these flat armrests, like you could set your drink on it, but like Matthew pulls up a chair to sit next to her. Talking about he's thinking about the best way to kill her. Victoria's like, well, why start now? And this is when Matthew gets on to a story about how once he had an old dog that he put out of its misery because it was old. He didn't say it was in pain or nothing like that. He unalived this doggo. It didn't know what was coming. It just snapped his neck. I don't think I like Matthew as much anymore. Oh, there's that. And Victoria's like, well, if you try to kill me, I'll fight back. I'll scratch you. You'll have marks on your face, and everybody's gonna know. Matthew doesn't care. He grabs her neck, and Victoria screams. Right then, the door opens up. There's Liz. Victoria's like, he killed Bill Malloy, and he's gonna kill me. And then we just see the front doors of Collinwood for the credits. Crazy motherfucker. Oh my god, dude. Like, he was really gonna choke this chick out and break her neck. Oh my god, dude. It was so scary. Bruh. Like, and he's a big guy, too. I know I keep pointing that out, but what? No. Uh, I was scared, too. If Liz had not walked in right that second. Damn. So, yeah. Great place to leave off at. Oh my goodness. And then we'll pick up at 112. So, a lot happened. It seemed like a couple episodes back I did. It's kind of just like everything was kind of straightforward going to Bangor. Now we got some real shit going down. People are trying to kill Victoria left and right. I would be so stressed out if I was her. I'd be so pissed off. Yeah, that is scary as hell. How many times do people have to try to kill you in half a month for you to be like, this isn't the place for me? I don't know. Maybe she thinks it's exciting. Maybe nobody tried to kill her at the orphanarium, I don't know. Like nobody wants to be attempted murdered. I'm being funny, but oh my goodness, wow, scary episode. Stuff's getting real. It kind of really escalated there with all that. You think I killed Bill Malloy? It's like, We didn't think of you. I didn't think he would kill Bill back when it was going on. And like Victoria, she's like, I never suspected you. It's like nobody did, because we know he didn't kill Bill, but they don't know that in universe. So it's like I'd never thought. Lisa Gray, good rundown, Nikki. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I thought about not mentioning the episodes they didn't do, but it's a complete series review, so I got to mention the episodes that are not in there. The official episode count is 1245. It is misprinted on the box set is 1225, so you will see that incorrectly repeated many places online, but somebody hit the one wrong number and now we deal with that. But it is 1245 episodes. I know. I wrote them all down. Oh, but yeah, I'm so happy to be ending a show on time for once. I hate when shows run over. I hate when my shows run over. I want to be respectful of people's time. I know they have other stuff to do, so maybe my equipment stuck with me for this episode, and I won't have to repeat myself next week. Because it is Saturday, and this is the last day of Mercury retrograde again. Don't have to worry about that again until the end of February, sometime in Pisces. And then next week is just a 4-day week, quite frankly. And a Saturday show from me. So yeah, I'm just looking ahead. I see that December 24th and 25th are on a Wednesday and Thursday, so that's extra shows. We did that last year too. That's cool. If you do want to watch Dark Shadows, it's on Tubi right now for free. I've got the link in the description, and for the channel and for the show, also the link to find it on Internet Archive. That's all free. If you do want to buy the box set, it's going to be, last I knew, it was north of $400. That is quite an investment, but if you need to have your fix and the Wi-Fi is out, you need to have it. And I needed to have it. So I got that. It also has an entire DVD with bonus bloopers and things like that I haven't even watched yet. I think that's available online, but I've got it on the DVD, so I might as well watch it there. And it seems like a lot of the extras are online as well, but that's okay. Lisa Gray said, thanks, lady. Have a great night. Yeah, you guys too. Smash the like button on the way out. Don't forget your pants. The shirt is Grace Still Plays, Not Today Satan. This is a child's large, but it fits like an extra small. If you want long sleeves like I do, that's what you got to do for it. Lots of places are doing Black Friday sales. I don't know if GrayStillPlays.com is, or it's just Grace. Yeah, GrayStillPlays.com. Link in the description. Not affiliated. I just like his channel and his stuff. I don't like the 80s music, but I love everything else that he's done. So that's what that is. Of course, that's going to cost. I'm sorry that the website looks like 1991. Threw up all over it. I didn't design it. What else? I do have super chats opened up there. It's Venmo and Buy Me a Coffee. That goes 100% to myself. Your money stays in the United States. You get your comment read on the show. I do not spend the money on hookers and blow or monkeys or AI. So you're just getting a real person putting out real content about a real TV show. So that's open up. I do this because I love it. I do it for free. So anything else I get on top of that is just gravy. Actual real gravy. I turn it into calories. Oh, what else do I have in the description? If you have seen Dark Shadows, a lot of people have just seen it from 210 and from then on. This is before that. A lot of people haven't seen this. That's why it's kind of fun to cover. So I'm glad you guys are digging it. We've been over 100 episodes into it. Just have 1,100 and some odd more to go. Can't wait to talk about it. I can't wait till my favorite characters come on the show and we get into other storylines and situations and find out about other people that we're getting to know them and we think we know them, and then other stuff happens and we find out more about them. It gets deep. It gets dark. But yeah, thank you guys for having a couple extra hours on a Saturday. I love seeing you guys. You guys make everything worth it. So I hope this was fun for you. Have a great night. Get some good sleep. Have a good meal. Smoke out on the balcony. I think I said don't forget your pants. Don't forget those. You're going to need those all week at the show. I love you guys again. It's just really wild to be able to end on time. Holy crap. So, wow. Even though I hate ending these, it's nice to end on time, which is what I'd like to do right now. So, I love you all again. I will see you in a chat room. So, yeah, take it easy.